I know.
You denied because you didn't show up. It's like, well, I didn't show up last year and I wasn't denied. So
We
we,
have that community stuff, that's always good.
yeah. And this is for Fourth Fest, and that is always good. I enjoy the parade every year.
Yeah.
Cause we're right up front, so we get to get off and then get to see the rest of it.
Cause I wasn't able to make it this year, did we? Cause I know like Milwaukee, or doing fireworks, or whatever, didn't have their budget, right? Did we get a lot more people? Did you guys think we got more people, like, for the fireworks and stuff coming in from out of town?
I was,
I didn't go to the fireworks this year,
so,
so I'm not sure.
he lives in Greenfield.
Oh, you're gonna come to see no fireworks? Even coming down from, I stopped for years ago, it's the traffic to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I just usually wait.
We got a big problem with, by the way, we're live, sorry.
We're in a couple of them, okay.
Okay. And all right, well, we got three, so we can proceed. Good afternoon. The hour being 5:30 on Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. I will now call the Public Works and Service Committee meeting to order. First, we'll have the roll call by Mr. Fishlock,
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have Alder Jones,
present.
Alder Jarrett,
Present.
Alder, is it Escada? Is that Alder Escada? Alder Mack. Not here.
I didn't hear from him. So
And Alder Perez.
And we heard from him and he said he would come in,
Okay.
so. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes for the July 9th, 2024 meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we approve the minutes from July 9th, 2024. Any comments, suggestions, corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. First item on our agenda is item 0651-24. Communication sponsored by Alder Coe on behalf of Nikolai Sertinovich of St. George Suburban Orthodox Church, requesting to utilize parking on both sides of State Street, on Huron Street to Superior Street, and along with the east side of Superior Street for their church festival on August 31st through September 1st from noon to 10 p.m. Staff recommendation that the parking request be approved per the attached stipulation. Mr. Frischlock.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. This is a annual request by the Serbian Church over on State and Huron, where they request to use parking on both sides of State Street. The only unique thing outside of the normal fees that we charge is that there's a couple of bus stops in both directions in that particular area. It's part of the stipulations that are in there, and that they can't block those with any parking. So those particular stipulations are in the item as part of the stipulations, and we see no other problems with the item.
Any questions from committee? Seeing none, the motion is in order. Is there a second? Then motion to motion and second to approve item 0651-24. Seeing no questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 0661-24. Communications sponsored by Alder Mack on behalf of Nikki Woods for the Rhino Bar, requesting permission to close High Street between Main Street and Chatham Street from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday, September 14th, 2024, for a fundraiser to benefit Racine Fourth Fest. Staff recommendation that permission be granted to the Rhino Bar to close High Street from Main Street to Chatham Street from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. on September 14th, 2024, for their fundraising event with the attached stipulations. Physical note, there will be nominal costs to various city departments on a regular shift basis to assist in implementing the event. Mr. Britzlaw.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. This is, the Rhino Bar has done this for, I believe, at least the last 3 to 5 years with, block party, for charity. And, we reviewed their request, we approved their, specific closure. There's nothing here that would be out of the norm, and we'd recommend approval.
Thank you. Any questions from staff? Seeing none, motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's motion by Alderman Career, second by Alderman Sherrill to approve item 061-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 065-0-24. Communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services, submitting final payment for contract 2023-132, Colonial Park Driveway and Parking Lot Reconstruction, DK Contractor. Staff recommendation that the work completed by DK Contractors on contract 2023-132, Colonial Park Driveway and Parking Lot Reconstruction be accepted and final payment authorized for a total contract amount of $287,859. Final payment to include retainage. Physical note, contract 2023-132 was authorized under resolution number 0528-23 on June 6, 2023. Mr. Chrislong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to note that, I was notified by Director Molbeck that, they could not make the meeting tonight, so I'll be speaking on their behalf on this one. The work is complete. It is the parking lot that if you've ever been there, it's at the very end of the west dead end of High Street. So it used to be a gravel lot, right by there's some trails and things back there. It used to be a gravel lot. They paved it, now it's asphalt. It's got some striping on it. They did some sewer work. All that work has been done. It is acceptable to Parks and Recreation in terms of the work and the amount of work done. So on behalf of them, I would recommend approval.
Thank you. Any other questions?
So this form here, on page 11, it says that what's left to pay them is $50,000, or is that something different?
Yeah, yes, sir. That's the last part that would get them up to the final contract amount of $287,859.
So we're approving the 50,000 today to even the 687.
Yeah, you're fine.
87.
Correct, sir. Okay.
Any further questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been motion and seconded to approve item 0650. Seeing no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 0653-24. Communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Public Works, submitting final payment for contract 2022-162 sidewalk replacement, Beasley Concrete LLC contractor. Staff recommendation that the work completed by Beasley Contract LLC on contract 2023-162-2023 sidewalk replacement be accepted and final payment authorized for total contract amount of $285,802.03. Final payment to include retainage. Physical note, contract 2023-162 was authorized under resolution number 0765-23 on August 15th, 2023. Mr. Mulder,
Thank you, Madam Chair. As stated, Beardsley Concrete completed all the work and now they're requesting final payment on this project. We had previously in the last meeting approved their rectifying change order. That brought the final contract amount up to the $285,802.03. If the committee agrees, we recommend approval of this final payment.
thank you. Any questions from committee members? Alder Perez.
So the waiver of lien on page 17 and 18. Is that like a standard?
Yeah.
Process?
Yeah, that's usually what's holding final payments up. Is the final lien waivers and the foreseen work stuff.
And they had a form in here for routine work, same
Yeah.
like people.
Yep.
And so the waiver of lien means that they're giving up all their rights to what?
That basically states that that contractor that signed that final waiver or
Yeah.
a lien waiver has been paid in the full amount that they're owed by Beardsley Construction.
Oh, they were doing beers.
Yes,
City.
correct.
Oh, okay, that's what I was like, wow, I haven't seen this. Okay, good.
Any further questions from committee members? Seeing none, motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Motion by Alderman Perez, second by Alderman
It's good.
Skinner. We'll get in here. To approve item 0653-24. Being no further questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion passes. And next item is 0649-24. Communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Public Works, submitting change order number 1 to contract 2023-198, I&R reduction, MH Rehab and Private Drainage Global Contractors Inc. Contractor. Staff recommendation that change order number 1 to contract 2023-198, I&R reduction, MH Rehab and Private Drainage Global Contractors Inc. Contractors be approved in the amount of $37,882.11. Physical note funding for this change order is available in storm sewer and sanitary manhole funds. Alderman, Mr. Mulder.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No ambitions to be political. As stated, we're submitting final rectifying change order to this contract to increase the amount of the contract to $37,882.11. That number doesn't match. I will correct that before it goes to committee or council. Original contract was approved on the amount of $666,261.25 on a resolution 0650-23 on July 14th of 2023. This change order brings the total amount to $704,139.36. If committee agrees, we recommend approving this change order.
Excuse me, what did you say the original amount was?
Original amount of the contract was $666,261.25. And then this change order brings it up to $704,139.36.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members? Alder.
We have a question for the sanitary manhole fund, that deduct of 2,500 for this. Like, did you see why?
It's probably because we did one less manhole.
Yeah.
This project literally has been in the works since 2014. And the the fact that we are going through and final pain and rectifying changes makes my day. This literally has been, and we've had several engineers work on it and then have left, and then it's like we're trying to figure out what they were trying to do. It was a one-off project where we literally were putting storm sewer, little, like 6-inch storm sewer drains in people's backyards in the neighborhood from Ohio to 31, Washington, basically to Graceland. And we were just, basically we put the storm sewer in, and they signed an agreement that this is now yours to maintain. So it's a property owner's storm sewer. We're doing this to reduce the inflow and infiltration into the sewer system, which overwhelms the treatment plant, which, we can't develop if the wastewater, committee decides that, we haven't done our fair share of reducing I&I to the treatment plant. So this is basically a pilot program. Now we tabulate these results. This also included, it wasn't just backyard drains, it was manhole rehabs. It was a couple other things where we lined manholes, a couple other things. And then we actually separated another project out and lined mainline sewer. So this is all to reduce I&I at the plant.
What's I&I?
What's that?
What is I&I?
Infiltration. Inflow is when you get water flowing off the surface into a manhole. Infiltration is when it's flowing through cracks in the pipe underneath the ground.
One question. You said this was like a one-off, so this was a pilot program, so they're not doing this anymore. So just like
the fact that we were working in people's backyards is a miracle. But this neighborhood that I described was seeing a lot of backyard flooding and things like that. And this was our attempt to alleviate basements flooding and things like that. We put in these little drainage systems, and they're literally a catch basin in the backyard. At most, it'll catch them and their neighbors that butt up against them, and get rid of a puddle and go out to the city storm sewer or the curb and gutter, the gutter on the next to the street. I think most of them go into the system. So it was all just little networkish type of storm sewer systems that we are doing once and only once, and we will not be back.
Thank you.
This question. So when was this project completed?
It just was completed, I want to say March, April of this year.
Yeah, this is my district, and people are calling me about this.
Yeah.
And it started 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Originally, that's when the original floods happened. That's when we originally started interviewing residents, finding out where's your issue, what do you think is causing it, and then we literally we went out to bid on this thing several times, couldn't get people to bid on it. Had to tailor it, break it up. That's why we took the lining portion out of this project. This was literally just the backyard drains, and we had to get more of a plumber than a contractor. We're used to using like an Oaks or someone like that with big machines. This plumber had a little mini backhoe that he could get in between houses and things like that. So
what is all of the, like, for example, all the houses on Perry have a little white tube that comes out the front of the
that's something different. That's a clean out for their sewer lab.
But the city did that too.
Yes, that's completely different.
Project?
Yeah, completely different. That's lateral lining. That's what we took out of this project. I think that project's already been closed out. So when they line you got a mainline sewer and you got a lateral going to a house. So you got, say, easily 30 feet to the back of the sidewalk, and then you got another, say, 15, 20 feet to the house. You launch the liner from inside the sewer pipe, and you launch it up the you know, and we only line to the property line. We're not lining all the way to the house. So you gotta have a point where you can, you know, literally get into their lateral and, you know, and clip that off, make sure it's, you know, adhered to the pipe and everything else. So that's a clean out. So we could go through if anything happens in the future, say there are tree roots or something like that. And we need to do it, you know, we can get into that clean out, clear out tree roots or whatever we need to in the public portion of their lateral.
Any further questions from the committee? I was going to ask what area was this in, but all of the rest.
My district.
So I know what it is.
Had a compliments and a lot of complaints. A good balance.
Any further questions,
But,
comments?
yeah, comment. By the way, the engineer on this project actually called me, showed me the maps, brought me to the properties. And I thought that was an excellent way to deal with.
Richard Frazier?
Yeah, it's an excellent way to deal with the alderman, because then we knew what was going on. And we can answer questions as well. So in the future, if you have projects going into people's yards, please contact the alder. And let them know so that we can answer the questions and prevent it from coming all the way up to you guys. You don't have time problems. But he gave us maps and everything, so it was a very good work.
Richard was probably the fourth or fifth engineer that worked on this project because he's only been with us since
Here a while.
well, he's been here a while, but not 2014. He wasn't here. I want to say he started 2021.
Yeah, it was at least 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was when I was just started as a city engineer.
Well, I
So,
want to commend you guys for having him reach out to us. That was an excellent idea, and please keep it up in the future.
okay.
You did a great job.
Any further comments, questions? Seeing none, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Motion is second by Alder Perez and Alder. I'm not gonna get this. I'm gonna get it right. Esquedo, right?
Esqueda.
Esquedo.
Yes, okay, DA, if you're gonna write it down pronunciation wise,
Yes.
that's a dot. Yes, a DA. It's a dot.
Okay, because I was trying to say it with the ESQ, the way it was.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pronounced a
it's
little
pronounced a
different.
little different.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 0663-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of Department of Works submitting change order number 1 to contract 2024-054, accessible streets and alleys, Milwaukee General Contractors. Staff recommendation that change order number 1 to contract 2024-054, accessible streets and alleys, Milwaukee General Contractors be approved in the amount of $4,539.58. Fiscal note funding for this change order is available in Art Objects 4010157 sanitary sewer various locations. Mr. Mulder.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is, like I said, this is change order number 1 to the contract for accessible streets and alleys for Milwaukee General Construction in the amount of $4,539.58. This brings the original contract was an approved amount of $1,384,388.76. This brings the total up to $1,388,928.34. This is basically a change in a sanitary sewer structure. We had a large structure, large sanitary sewer coming into a chamber structure as opposed to just a manhole. And they needed a larger chamber, and so we had to change change that size of the chamber that is down 20 feet or so. And that's the sole purpose of this. You know, there's force mains and everything else coming into this chamber, and It just is a very large structure and they would like to get paid for it. Project is wrapping up now, but this work has actually been done for probably about a month and a half now.
Other grants,
So a riser is a big box. Does your sanitary riser man?
It's, well, the chamber is down about 20 feet and it's literally a square box, you know, with floor, ceiling and everything else. And then you construct a riser chimney style manhole on top of that, you know, off to one edge so you can have your steps going all the way down to the bottom to get into it. But it's just the name of it. It's the riser is, you know, is the chimney portion.
any further questions from staff? From committee members? Seeing none, a motion will be in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder Perez, second by Alder Jarrett to approve item 0663 24. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. The next item is 0664 24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Public Works, submitting change order number 1 to contract 2024-107 for building furniture. Berglund Construction was the contractor. That recommendation that change order number 1 to contract 2024-107 for building furniture, Berglund Construction contract to be approved in the amount of $261,802.23. Physical note funding for this change order is available in Board Objects 45040, 57200 for building touch funding. Mr. Kurtzloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The original contract on this one was $628,000. This adds $261,802.23. If you recall, when we awarded this project to Berglund, at the time, I said there would be a change order coming. The reason being is our 4 core buildings, meaning the Memorial Hall, City Hall Annex, Public Safety, and City Hall, are in terrible shape when it comes to, we haven't gotten a tuck pointing project for years and years and years. We could always get kicked down the road. Needless to say, we had $1 million the common council saw fit to put that in our capital budget this year. We got great bids on the project at $628,000. So we're bringing a change order to you to add some work in the amount of $261,802.23. So hopefully that provides some context as to why this is happening. I'm open to any questions, but we recommend approval.
On Chris.
So when this was originally bid out, these things weren't noticed, or why is there a change order now from the original contract?
Oh, they were noticed. So sometimes you just don't exactly know what kind of bids you're gonna get. So we tried to put in the quantities that would reflect $1 million in the project. We got great prices on our bid. So we'd like to try and get some more work done.
This is additional work? Oh, sorry. Oh, President.
Yeah, that, I don't understand your explanation.
Yeah, it's additional work. It's additional scoping work.
And with the scoping work.
Well, it's additional scope that we added to the project, that since we have money to do it, we can get it done.
So then why, if the money is there from a different account than the original bid, is that what you're saying?
No, it's the same account. We had $1 million to spend. We put together a project that we thought would be $1 million, but we got really good prices on it. So all of that work that you originally awarded is gonna get done. But
For 600,000.
yeah, 620,000 or 600. So the original award that you awarded was $628,000 was the original award. So we have $1 million to do the tuck pointing work on all 4 buildings. We asked Berglund to put together prices for additional work. because we had an additional 400 some thousand to play with. We know the buildings aren't in good shape. We don't know when we're gonna get money for buildings, you know, so it tends to get pushed down the road a lot of times. So in this case, we added scope, we asked them to provide us a price, they did so. And, the price that they provided was, roughly 261,000.
Have they already worked on it?
They've started the original project, or right out here at the public safety building.
Have they started on changes?
No.
On the change order?
No, sir.
Is that because you have to wait for approval first before they start that, or you expect them to continue and you expect us to approve the change?
Well, I guess a little bit of both. I mean, when I originally talked about the award, I did warn that this was coming down the pike. So, in this case, they haven't started the work, so I need the approval for them to move on. But I'd also like to get the work done. So, we've got budget for it, so, we'd like to move forward.
What's the anticipated time of completion? With the new stuff included?
I would say, end of October.
August, okay, 2 months? A realistic.
Unless we start getting a whole ton of rain.
I was gonna say,
They should be done by August 31st, or October 30th. Now you got me saying August 31st.
That's
October 31st, excuse me. Yes, they should be done by October 31st. We are not asking for any type of extension on the contract time on the change order. So this will all be within the time of the original contract.
But it's just additional scope of work, based on the fact that we budgeted $1 million and then the bids came in less than
Correct, sir.
that. Okay, thanks.
Alder Jerry.
Well, my question is, because, yeah, I remember that conversation, that if they see most of it can get done, that you'll have a change order. If for some, to Perez's question, if we have to bid this back out, it's not necessarily sure that we get these kind of prices, if you have to bid out the additional top pointing and whatnot.
Well, that, and you might be looking at going into next year, because if I had to bid out a whole other project, that's probably at least at a minimum 30 days to just go through the bidding, probably another 30 days to get contracts signed. So you're looking at 2 months before we can even get started, if we were to bid out the additional work. Now, would we get better prices? I doubt it, because if we're working in winter, that means they're gonna have to have heated shrouds and what have you, and work, if they're doing mortar work, it can't be freezing them, so they're gonna have to basically put shrouds up along the sides of the building, purchase heaters, heat that area during the winter until it cures, and then move on to the next area. So it makes work a little bit harder.
Do you think that they will be able to get it done prior to the winter setting in?
Yes, I do.
If they don't find any additional areas that needs to be tucked in?
No, I don't think, I mean, the areas that we found are the areas that we found. Right now, we have, we're happy with the scope and the addition to the scope. We've asked for some money next year in the capital budget. I have no idea whether that would get approved or not, but that's coming down the pike as well. So we just want to get as much tuck pointing work done as we possibly can. If you want, look at it this way. If your walls are leaking on your house, are you gonna fix them? Absolutely. That's what we have going on here. So we're taking care of the most critical areas on each of these buildings. Memorial Hall, we have a particularly interesting situation since it's a historical building. So we have to do very special different things over there. But here in the annex, in the safety building and at City Hall, we've got water coming in. So that's why we really, really want to use up this money, because we don't know if we're going to get it moving forward.
Any further questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order. Move the vote. It is motion by Alder Jared, second by Alder Escobedo. Escobedo. To approve item 0664-24. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item is 0662-24. Communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Public Works, splitting change order number 1 to contract 2023-176, State Street Lift Bridge, painting and structural repair. Zenith Tech Inc. contractor. Staff recommendation that the change order number 1 to contract 2023-176, State Street Lift Bridge, painting and structural repair, Zenith Tech Inc. contract is be approved in the amount of $111,408. Physical note funding for this change order is available in order object 40402-57545 Bridge State. Mr. Fritzloff.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. This, again, is a change order for the State Street Bridge contract at $111,408. This project was a combination of a painting project and a repair project. So, during the course of painting the bridge, underneath there were some structural members that we saw, or we noticed had significant section loss, meaning the structural members of the bridge, meaning the parts that hold it up, were scaling and deteriorating to the point where we could not paint them unless we replaced some of the structural members of the bridge. So we had to have some of those members specially fabricated, so we had to shut down the painting for a time being, have those members structurally fabricated and reinstalled in the bridge in order to get it structurally working again. Had we not done that work, the bridge would not be able to lift. So that's what happened there. It wouldn't be able to support the loads that it needs to carry, i.e. garbage trucks at 70,000 pounds, electric buses at 40,000 pounds or 40,000 pounds. I mean, these are upwards of 20 tons. So this was a very important thing that we need to get done. And so in order to get the bridge back, we essentially had to do it. So in this case, the work is done, and I'd like approval on the change order.
On the chair.
So I see it's change order is reimbursable. Is it 100% reimbursable?
I believe it is 100% reimbursable.
And once that the project and stuff is done, I'm guessing that's when the reimbursement will be dispersed. Like how long does that usually?
No, every year I put in what's called the bridge report. So the state pays for all of our operational expenses on bridges and a limited amount in capital projects. So every year for both the Main Street Bridge and the State Street Bridge, I put together a report that has every hour of our bridge tenders, every hour of maintenance, every hour of electrical and or motor controls work, anything that we do on that bridge, I put in a report to get reimbursed. So that includes capital projects such as this one. Now, I will tell you that moving forward, this may not be the case because the state's bridge fund is starting to go that way. So, but in this case, so every time, every year I put this in it's March I send it in. So for the previous year, so we get anywhere between 600 and 600,000 for operations up to the full cost of what we spent on both bridges. So typically our operations costs alone are about 600,000, 650,000 for both bridges.
Thank you.
Alder Perez.
Does the DNR always reimburse the amounts that you request?
I've not had a scenario yet where they haven't reduced the amount that I request. They might get a little upset because we do a lot of interior painting work just to keep everything up. And, you know, that's a little bit of a joke with me and the because I put in for all this. So sometimes we don't get some of those little things, but, you know, I still try and get what we can.
Any further questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
The motion and second to approve item 0662-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. The next item is 0652-24, communications sponsored by the chair. On behalf of the Commission of Public Works, submitting a request to enter into a state municipal financial agreement for local roads improvement program. Gould Street limits Blake Avenue to Douglas Avenue. Staff recommendation that the city be authorized and directed to sign the state municipal financial agreement for local roads improvement program. Gould Street limits Blake Avenue to Douglas Avenue. Fiscal note, the estimated total cost of the project is $890,000 for design and construction, with the city's share being $545,000. Funding is available in the 2025 to 2034 capital budget. Mr. Mulder.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As stated, we received a state municipal agreement from the state for Gould Street, from Blake to Douglas, to reconstruct that section of the road. And this is LRIP, or Local Roads Improvement Program. Traditionally, we get this every other year for about $150,000. This one, they went into discretionary funds, and we got an additional $200,000 on top of that, for a total of $345,000. The city has never received discretionary funds for LRIP programs, as far as I know. So this is good news. And it almost, you know, it takes part of, you know, about 35% or 38% of the project cost. I recommend that if the committee agrees, that we enter into the agreement, and have the appropriate people sign the state municipal agreement.
Thank you. Alder Perez.
Who's Chris Gallagher?
He is, well, he works for the county, but he administers the county's portion of local roads improvement. So it's literally state money, and they distribute it, you know, to all 72 counties. And the county actually awards it to whatever projects they see fit are the most fit projects. We were the only ones that applied. And I don't think there was anything from several of the other counties in southeast Wisconsin. That's why we got discretionary funds. And like I said, usually everyone gets about, you know, right around $150,000. That's it. Be happy. See you later. We got $345,000, which is good news.
How long did it take to get that money?
It's already, you know, accrued through them for us. This is what's the term I'm looking for? This is entitlement funds. So even if this project, for some reason, I don't know why, because this road really needs it, I applied for STP funding for this road too. But if for some reason this road, we don't get it designed or whatever, we could take that $345,000 and apply it to something similar anywhere in town. But trust me, it's going on Google.
Okay, thank you.
Alder Jerry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once, if this is approved, how soon will the work be started?
We do the LRIP ones. We design those in-house. So it's already been surveyed. You know, we'll design it. Pete Eggert will design it over the winter. It'll be constructed next year. So STP funding is what you're probably equating this to. That's completely different, where we go out and hire a consultant. It's a lot more expensive because you're not going to pay a consultant. You know, plus it's usually design projects are, in the vicinity of, $60,000 to well over $100,000. And the projects are usually, because of all the state reviews and everything, are driven up to well over $1 million for a project like this. Whereas, now we got LRIP, we could do it in-house. This project is gonna come in.
Any further questions from committee members? Being none, a motion is in order.
Vote approved.
Second.
Moved by Alder Perez, second by Alder Chair, to approve 0652-24. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. The next item is 0654-24. Communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Commissioner of Public Works, submitting Amendment 1 to State Municipal Financial Agreement for State Project ID 2290-0003-73, State Highway 38 Northwestern Avenue, Gulf Avenue to Rapids Drive. Staff recommendation that the city be authorized and directed to sign Amendment Number 1 to the State Municipal Financial Agreement for State Project ID 2290-0003/73, State Highway 38 Northwestern Avenue, the Gulf Avenue to Rapids Drive. Fiscal note, the estimated total cost of the project is $945,000 for the design and construction, with the city share being $53,400. Funding is available in the 2025 to 2034 capital improvement budget. Mr. Mullender.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As stated, we received this amendment for the state municipal financial agreement for the state project 2290-00-03, STH 38 Northwestern Avenue, Gulf to Rapids. The municipality will agree to the following 2021 to 2021 state-led highway project funding conditions. The project design costs are funded up to 75% state federal funding and up to the funding limits of $105,000. Municipality agrees to provide the remaining 25% of any funds in excess and any funds in excess of the $105,000 state federal funding limit. This is estimated at $35,000 local share. Any real estate or utility costs are 100% on the city. This reflects an increase in the amount of $20,000 in the amount of $20,000 total design cost, or $15,000 fed state increase, $5,000 local increase. So our design responsibilities went up $5,000 from the original state municipal agreement. Now, here's the good news. Construction funding decreased $32,500, and in addition to the decrease, the state agreed to cover the cost of the parking lane pavement. So the state federal for the construction increased to $786,600, whereas the local share for construction decreased to $18,400. $13,400 construction and $5,000 non-participating items. The previous state municipal financial agreement had a total of construction cost $837,000. I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers out here. Cost $837,500, and the state federal $87,000 local funding. So all in all, our funding went down. We went up for design for $5,000, but our construction costs went down about $70,000. That was basically because I don't know why the state was not going to pay for the parking lane resurfacing on Northwestern Avenue, which it didn't make sense to me, but they rectified this, and our overall cost is down about 60, I think it's 69,000. So more good news. If the committee agrees, we recommend approving this amendment to the state municipal agreement.
Thank you. Alder.
It's by the Horlick Dam,
This is, so, you know, where the mess is right now on the bridge?
Yeah.
It basically goes from where the mess stops. And actually, part of that is in this project. This one will be constructed with stage 2 of the bridge. It goes from basically the quarry to Gulf. Gulf is, by Sereno, Funeral Home.
along that.
Yeah, and
route.
it's a resurface project. And then, you know, we have to pay for like the sanitary sewer adjustments and things like that, but,
But isn't that not city limit?
the city limits are pretty much right up to just, it's so goofy because, it's pretty much just east of the Rapids intersection with Northwestern.
And that's where this project starts.
And that's where this project starts.
And then it runs down towards.
Oh, it's Gulf, yeah.
Okay, because I thought the city actually didn't start until you get almost past 40, and then the city limits.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy in there, and it's, you got, I don't know, it's hard telling which direction you're headed, because literally Rapids Drive and Northwestern west of the bridge are literally on the same line. You know, but you got the hook for Rapids that comes in, creates the intersection at Rapids Northwestern, and then you got the curl over, you know, by the bridge, and it ends up being an east-west road, so,
That's all within the city limits.
yes.
Okay.
Any further questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion will be in order.
Move to approve.
Motion and second to approve item. Excuse me. 0654-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion passes. That concludes.
Sorry, sir, did you have an item on here that you? Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, you said through the whole rest of it, but it did. Oh, okay, gonna get it through. All right. Thank you.
Just like the temporary parking signs that we just, or should I just go to somebody like Romy and have them print it?
You can pick those up in color that's on the wall.
No, where we pay the taxes.
Yeah.
Right, okay, all right, thank you.
All right, everyone have a good afternoon. Thank you. We should be back to our regular meeting date with next meeting. We had elections yesterday, the reason we were kind of out a little bit.
Thank goodness I saw you at meeting, because I was gonna show up.
Yeah. We moved it and then we moved it back.
Hey, Ron, that message I sent you about those little poles sticking out of Ohio.
It should be gone now.
I was gonna say, I got a lot of compliments on Facebook. Thanks for taking this. Thank you. I appreciate it. So like, I can't believe it. The complaint on Facebook actually paid off.
Yeah, well, we listen to that stuff if, you know.
Well, apparently,